So by now you all should have watched Love is Blind. I think the new episodes came out yesterday, and let me just tell you this right off bat, because I have not done like any feedback on this entire season. Okay, my phone probably gonna start like bouncing all around in a second because I'm on these city streets, and I'm on these city streets in DC where these people supposed to be, which is problematic for me because they are very much transplants. DC is a place that is a melting pot. That is the nicest way to put it. A lot of people migrate to this area for political reasons, for military reasons, because of like the bases that are here, you know, in the surrounding areas. Political reasons, because a lot of people graduate from college or whatever, they get these internships, so on and so forth, and then they end up working downtown. And so you start getting people populating this area whose roots are from Michigan or, you know, Cali, Kansas, Arizona, you know, Massachusetts, things like that. That's what we have a lot of here. Therefore, the people on this show are not really representative of DC. And a lot of people would probably argue that if you really did get some DC natives, then it probably, like, the show would probably be a whole hell of a lot different. To be honest with you, half of them probably already slept with each other. I just can't even, why lie? Okay, getting into Love is Blind specifically. So glad that they took Ken and Barbie off. I don't even remember the name. Leo, the millionaire, who, according to some reports, is like a 600,000-aire. But I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's tangible worth or intangible worth. I don't know. And the girl that he was linked up with or whatever, right? They ended up going to Miami. So nobody got a chance to really see how they interact with each other. For, like, and I understood when the producer had put out the explanation as to why they weren't going to be following them, not to mention the fact that they ended up not making it. But we cannot shy away from the fact that people tune into the show kind of for the shits and giggles. What's going to happen? Who's going to get with who? Like, how is this going to turn out? So on and so forth. And so to not have them on there was just kind of like, you know, what are you guys really aiming for at this rate? They would have been good TV. Even though I think a lot of us kind of knew they were not going to work, because that girl was, like, her facial expressions, I don't even know why she chose him. I don't even know why she chose him. She was spot on in not allowing herself to be considered second to Hannah, and she really should have stuck with that, but she didn't. And she kind of missed out, you know, on an opportunity where, for real, she didn't really miss out. Nick and Hannah wants to be so introspective that it just makes no sense. This girl fully believes, as she stated, that she turned Nikki D from a boy to a man. I'm not going to hold you and say that he did not have an abundance of immaturity going on with him. But at the same time, baby, you didn't change him. Any adjustments that were made were to accommodate the situation that he's in with you. It wasn't because he felt like he needed to be bigger and better in any other regard. This man has been dating people successful, unsuccessful, that's subjective. But he's been dating people. And he's being taken care of. He is of the age that he is, still living with his parents. And if his parents are not giving him any type of ultimatum to move out, to become more successful or more independent or whatever, this is his reality. Is it fair for him to go into a situation where he will be required to provide to a large degree, and not necessarily providing for his spouse or whatever, but being able to like equally viably contribute to the home? He needs to be able to do that. It isn't fair that he would sign up for this show and then commit to any of the ladies there, transition from the pods into the live-in situation. How did you think anyone was going to react knowing that they were going to your family's home as your home? You are a grown man living in a basement. Like, this was very, very juvenile. What I appreciate about Nick is his honesty and his ability to stand up for himself. I think Hannah is used to people either being done with her and just stepping away, or actually conceding to her demands and requests and kind of giving her some things that she wants. But when she's able to do that, she doesn't stay with them. Hence her not being in a relationship prior to joining the show, because whatever she had going on didn't work out for her or the other person, or, you know, collectively. But to sit there with this man and tell him that you took him from a boy to a man, and you write things down so that you have an opportunity to be able to talk about how you feel. All of the other conversations are not, okay, well, Nick, how do you feel? It's, how do you feel about me? What do you think about what I said? And then at the end of it, after he gives what I thought was a very compelling rebuttal in response to the stuff that she was talking about, it's like, do you want to give me a hug? Everything is so much about her. Like, you think this man is so immature that he lacks any ability to make any decision on his own, that you had to open the door for a hug? If that's what he wanted to do, he would have done it. He already expressed prior to you forcing a hug that he loves you. He has learned things from you, but he wasn't going to take other things from you. Like, I respect your criticism. I respect your perception of me, because if this is going to work between you and I, then your perception matters. But the way that you try to bully me into conforming is unacceptable. And I don't come from a life where I need to take that, because, bitch, if you're not here, my mama and daddy is. Is that sensible safety coming from a man his age? Absolutely not. That is not reassuring security to anybody, really. I mean, to somebody, but not a lot of people. Nevertheless, forcing him into that hug was really like the icing on the cake for me. And it was just like, baby, you are very mature for your age. You are, able to stand on your own and do all of these things. And you are just everything that you think you are. You're that. I have nothing. And neither does Nick. Tim and his lady, Ashley, at first, I was like, this girl is spoiled down. Okay, she's going to irritate whomever she's with, unless they come in with the spirit of enjoying spoiling someone. But the tables shifted, shook, twisted, turned. And she was so validated in sitting on that couch and going off the way that she did. Being respectful. It's like he wanted the opportunity to speak and then be able to get up and walk away from it. He only allowed her a portion of conversation out of respect. But when I tell you his mind was made up, and this is not a flaw, your mind should be made up when you're going into lifelong decisions. But he knew before this girl met his parents. I'm telling you, her going to sleep at any point after the visit was over was not what did it for him. It isn't. There were some other things that he observed, some other things where he felt like he said, this is not a person that I'm willing to make my wife for the rest of my life. That he knew it. That was something that could have been talked about or whatever the case may be. But it was just mind-boggling to me, because when she's talking about all that she had done that had brought her body to exhaustion at that point, and he wasn't accepting it, but then he ends up getting into conversation with her about them not conversing very much throughout the day. And then when she had a moment, she's calling him, and he's like, at that point, you're wanting to talk to me on your time, and I don't want to talk right then. And it's just like, well, how was your time earlier more, how was that more conducive to what made you think that moment was openly available for the both of you at that time, to the point where when it comes down to your time, you can make a decision about, yeah, no, you're talking to me when you want, I don't feel like talking to you, and the conversation has to end. I don't know if I want to say that Tim is controlling. I think he has a controlling persona, being in the military, coming from the military, and just being very confirmed in a lot of things that he knows about himself. Again, self-awareness is great. He did not necessarily allow room for he and his partner to grow together, because the way he ended that was so cold. It was so cold. Garrett and baby girl, I'm rooting for them a little bit. I'm not going to say she necessarily overreacted about the text thing, because it is like, yeah, we were standing outside. You told me all you did was liked it. All you did was acknowledge receipt of the text. But now all of a sudden we get in front of somebody else and you talking about, yeah, I had all of these extra words coming out of my mouth. And you know what I'm saying? That is a form of lying. Why were you so comfortable to admit that information to our friends right here? And like, all of that was just crazy to me. And then, speaking of friends, another place where Nick won was in asking, because Hannah even said it herself, I'm not blaming you. Why is my friend doing this? Like, why are you giving all these questions to Nick? Why this his thing? Why he got to answer for what this girl was talking about? Now, with some of the stuff he was saying, like, you know that you have a mic on. You ain't supposed to be saying that. Absolutely. But perhaps he was talking. Nope, I'm not even gonna get him that. It was wrong. It was wrong. He brought it back around, and he made sure to affirm his love, care, and affection for Hannah to Katie. He cleaned it up in the end. He should not have been held 100% responsible for that interaction. And how did Katie become this girl's best friend in the whole wide world? Did they know each other already? We're talking about 2-3 months. But you brought Nick to meet friends of yours that you've had for X amount of time. not only do those friends not like him, but the one friend that does like him likes him. And it's her response to Nick that is affecting you, but not the response of your actual outside of the show friends. Hannah is so smart that she does not realize she has more to learn. And I hate that for her. I wish I could say this was a wrap up. It was more like a rant up, but you know, whatever.